Yo. Hey.
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Yep. Hey.
The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time.
Yep. What's going on, peoples? This is your boy Ace Kennedy coming to you live from the Slash Brothers Podcast. If you notice, something's different. The boy CV is not in. Yeah. CV is out on vacation. So with that being said, we're going to still run the show. Hey, we still going to run the show. The Slash Brothers don't stop. Slash Brothers. Keep it going. Slash Brothers. Slash Brothers. Now, today I will have a special guest. So they will be helping me anchor the show, which I'm very, very happy about. Some of the topics we're going to get into this evening. We're going to talk about Nick Cannon. We're going to get into a little football news, talk about these Cowgirls. We're going to talk about all the bubble drama that the NBA's got going on. We're going to get into the NBA awards. We're going to find out what happened to Meg Thee Stallion. And then a little bit of verses. And yo, we're going to kick off this weekend, man. How's everybody doing? Yo, check in. Check in with your boy. How's y'all week going? How did y'all week go? You know what I'm saying? What was the best thing that you saw this week? Holla at your boy. Like I said, we're going to get into all of that. I hope everybody had a phenomenal week. I know for myself, it was a very, very long week. So I'm super glad that the weekend is approaching. Don't really have any big plans. I know the boy got a couple of basketball games. So I'm definitely going to be trying to check him out, get some more footage, trying to, stay on top of that stuff. AAU schedule. Everybody's trying to stay as safe as possible. I know we had a couple of places voting on mask. So y'all already know how I feel about that. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? I'm definitely all for people trying to stay safe in whatever fashion that they feel, because obviously this virus is real and people are getting sick and people are dying every day. So definitely do your part, whatever way that you feel is to make that possible. I am in support of that. With that being said, though, again, how was y'all's week? How did everything go? Hopefully somebody won some money. Hopefully somebody got engaged. Hopefully somebody found that they were pregnant. Hopefully somebody, something good. I just hope something good happened to you this week. So yeah, we're going to jump into all of that stuff, trying to wait for my boy to get all logged in so we can get this thing kicked off. You know how we do it. I know Charles is out there on somebody's beach with his legs out, chilling. Him and the research department are out. So we won't have any stuff from the research department today because they are on vacation. But your boy's holding it down. Your boy's holding it down. Yeah, I got my Barry Sanders jersey on, since we're going to get into a little bit of football. One of the best running backs of all times, went to Oklahoma State. Even though I'm a Texas boy, I am grateful of the heritage up here. So, but I'm still Texas boy through and through. So that's what it is. And while we waiting, just found out that the NBA awards, they are now going to take basically the start of the year until March, when everything kind of fell off. That's what they're going to consider for the regular season awards. So that's going to be interesting to see, especially, when everything starts back up with the NBA, wondering how they will probably, I guess, look at that as more so the postseason. And so they would use that for the postseason awards. But yeah, it looks like they're going to basically take all of the they're going to take the awards for the regular season from the beginning of the season until March. That's when they're going to shut it off. I see a couple, another recruit decided to go to a HBCU. So yeah, it is definitely changing the climate, and of course, I see some more people going to the G League. So it's definitely interesting to see how the climate is changing when it comes to young kids and their futures. Which is why I'm definitely trying to stay with Deuce. We're always cutting up footage. We always submitting it, trying to get him looks so that we can get him to college. I already got one in college. Tari's out there doing his thing at Seminole State, starting point guard out there. So I'm very excited about that. Just trying to get Deuce on out there so I can have both my boys in college ball and hopefully pushing them to a bigger future after that. So yeah, just doing my dad duties, cutting everything up, making them highlight reels, and that's it. And big shout outs to my boy Mark Lane. Like last week, like I said, I had that online concert. It was the open mic series, and he's actually going to be looking to have new acts on. So if you are interested in being a part of an open mic series, you'll have a lot of exposure because of the following that he has. He's a national DJ, and so he definitely has the eyes on his product, and it's something brand new that he's starting, and salute him in his venture. So it was dope to have me on last week, and I did my thing, and I appreciate everybody that jumped off of the podcast and jumped straight onto there after that. So super duper excited about everything that's coming up. My videographer, he is on his way to Kansas right now. So we'll be finishing up the video pretty soon when he gets back. So, man, Ace Kennedy is staying busy. As y'all can see the studio behind me, I'll be in the lab again starting next week, working on some new stuff. I got to finish mixing Charles's album because he's trying to get his stuff finished up. So the Slash Brothers are busy. The Slash Brothers are busy. But like I said, man, check in with your boy. Tell me what's going on. What happened this week? Other things that's going on, you know what I'm saying? Charlie is doing her thing. She's still doing her gymnastics thing. She is she came up to me the other day. First of all, I scared her when I got home, and she says, "Daddy, I'm getting bigger." And I was like, "Yeah, baby, you are getting taller." She's really, really fascinated with saying how much bigger she's getting. And she's like, "So am I 5 yet?" I said, "No, you're not 5 till February, baby." She was just like, "Oh, okay. Well, I'm getting bigger." I said, "Yeah, you're getting taller. You're getting taller." And for anybody that knows her story, that knows that she started out at 2 pounds and 15 ounces, it is amazing to see how much she has grown. But the girl is smart. Oh, she's so smart. And she's definitely my child. Super talented, definitely knows what to do. My thing, and right now, especially since kids have been out of school forever, how long? Because she was in school. She was in pre-K 3, and so of course now all she wants to do is play Barbies or play with these babies. Like, she always wants to play. But the thing about Charlie is this: you when you're playing with her, you have to say her script. If you are not saying her script, then yeah, it's definitely not gonna happen. And so yeah, it's one of those things that with her, you have to follow her script, or she ain't gonna play with you. She was like, no, you gotta say it like this, you gotta say this. But ladies and gentlemen, we want to go ahead and get this show kicked off like we said we would. I am bringing on one of my homeboys all the way from Texas, doing his thing. Ladies and gentlemen, my boy, Mark Nurse.
What's going on, homie?
What's good, bro? You good?
Yeah, man, chilling, walking
Ah,
in. What's going on?
oh, nothing much, man. Just talking to the people about this week, and give them a little update on about what's going on with Ace Kennedy. You good though?
Yeah, man, I'm hanging in there. What I missed so far?
Oh, nothing, brother. I was just giving them the highlights of what we're gonna get into this week. And like I said, just talking about a little bit of what happened this week. What's going on with you, man? What was the best thing you seen this week?
It might be a tie for me, man. As a parent, the best thing I seen was uh school being pushed back like maybe another month, a few weeks.
Okay.
And as a Ti fan, I love the calling out of 50,
Yeah.
the Ti and Fat Joe interview that just
Yeah.
came
We
out.
we definitely gonna jump into that, man. We definitely gonna jump into that. I loved everything that T.I. had to say, especially representing the South and what he had to say. So yeah, we
Right.
definitely gonna jump into that, man. And we got a pretty stacked show. So you know what? Let's get through all the pleasantries. Let's get right to it. Let's get right to
Let
it.
it let
Let's
it
get
rip.
right to it. Yeah. So first of all, bro, we can't. It can't go a week without talking about these cowgirls, bro. So first of all, Myles Garrett, he just got paid. Derrick Henry, he just got paid.
Hefty sums.
Right.
Hefty.
And this is the thing about Myles Garrett, right? He is coming off a suspension and he got paid. So that to me lets you know what the Browns think that they have in him. That lets me know
Exactly.
that this is what I believe in this dude. He gonna get his bread, and it is what it is. So with all that being said, you got Myles Garrett getting paid. You got Derrick Henry getting paid. What's up with these cowgirls not playing Dak, bro?
I mean, it goes back to what I said a few episodes of when y'all were talking about Kaepernick, man. I feel like if they really see something and know that you could ball, they will take care of you. I
Yeah.
don't. I really think they just don't trust Dak yet. I mean, everybody has a good year. Let's see if you could do it again.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, and it does send a message, and especially when you got these other teams that's willing to peel that bread, and then you like it's almost like what have you done for me lately all over again.
Right.
And like I said, especially with Myles Garrett coming off of a suspension, and you really didn't even expect him to come back as soon as he did, and then he comes back into the bread, and then Derrick Henry, we know the lifespan of a running back, so the fact that they peeled him off something, that's even better. So
He got to get it while he can. The lifetime of running back isn't that very long.
right. And what I'm saying, the fact that they believe in him too, and so that sends a message all across the league, man, as far as like knowing your worth when it comes to these teams and knowing what these owners think of you, man. And Jerry Jones always he pretty much prides himself on getting deals done. The fact that they waited this so late in the game, just can't believe that they
Says a
let
lot about that.
yeah. Yeah, it does say a lot about Dak. But hopefully, man, he has a great season and then he can get the contract that he wants. I mean, I just know they just couldn't come to terms on the length and the guarantee. And so, Dak's gonna have to ball out, man, and pray that dude stays healthy. Because ultimately, I mean, even though I might not like the Cowboys, I still respect Dak. I followed him ever since he was in college. So I would love to see him, what I'm saying, succeed and get paid or whatever the case may be. It's
They
just crazy.
they might know something that we don't. Who
That's
knows?
true. I mean, obviously they brought in your boy, another
Yeah.
quarterback. So I mean, you absolutely right, man. That just really, like I say, there's no way around it. That's showing that you don't believe. That's what
Just
that tells me.
think about us. Carson Wentz comes from a almost NFL MVP season, gets hurt a couple times.
Right.
We still broke him off.
Yeah.
But we know what we got. If we
That's
could
right.
keep him upright, we know what we got. Look what the Cowboys did with Greg Hardy.
Yeah.
He was in trouble. They brought him in and paid him.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to tell people with Kaepernick and Ray Rice and all those people, they were falling off before all these things happened to them.
Yeah.
So I was never surprised for them not to get another job.
Yeah. This is true. I mean, you would be surprised with how much people would forget if your value was, I mean, because Antonio Brown, for example, right? People are still looking at him even though he's been a locker room cancer. So the thing
Right.
is that people still see the value as him on a football team.
And that's probably why he's not back.
Well, yeah, I think that's the case right now. But what I truly honestly believe is that when the season actually kicks off and somebody's number one or number two receiver goes down and they feel like they have an opportunity to go forward, he'll
He
get,
will get a job.
yeah. But at the same time, what's that for Cap? Like, even though Roger Goodell publicly came out and said, "Yo, I would love to see him on a roster," some of them owners are still like, "Nah, I ain't doing it."
I agree. And like I said, whatever episode that was, I I wouldn't take the job as Kaepernick because I feel like it's I feel like you just became my puppet master and you're doing it out of sympathy, not because I could ball.
Well, I mean, but it also depends, though. I have to push back on that one. This is why I say that, because ultimately, if his goal is to get in the league, right, then regardless of if it is somebody who's like the sympathy card or whatever the case may be, you can't deny his talent. So even if that is their initial reason why they bring him on, the talent is going to speak for itself. And I still think that Cap still has an arm. He still has abilities, and he still has
Right.
value that he could add towards another roster. And so, and it also depends too on who picks him up. You know what I'm saying? It would be dope for him to get on a somewhat of a contender that he could come in and do his thing. But I just hope it works out for him, because I feel like that his message can still be as strong even if he's on the field. And at the end of the day, it's going to be awkward for whoever picks him up anyway, but I still think he can add value to a team, and his talent will overall reflect, what he's able to do on the field. So I think it'll work.
I do agree that I mean to me he should be better than a lot of backups and third strings that are in the league. So
This is true.
I do believe he should be in the league. I don't know about a starter.
I still think he can start, but I mean, I would just, at the end of the day, like, and I don't wish any injury on anybody, but I would hope for him to come in, and then if something were to happen, and he comes in and just balls out, even if it's for 1 year, he comes in, balls out, does his thing, and then let him rewrite the rest of his own history. You know what I'm saying? I still think that he adds value, and he is better than some of the second and third string, and some first string quarterbacks. Some of these teams ain't got no good quarterbacks. I take him over Trubisky right now.
I, I mean, it might be the same player except Kaepernick is a little faster.
Yeah, Kaepernick's a little faster, but I mean, at the same time, though, Kaepernick is also proven winner, man. He's been to the Super Bowl. So, you know what I'm saying? It just depends on what type of if Nagy
Focus.
can,
Yeah.
yeah, and if Nagy can build the offense around him. That's the other thing too. I don't want him, like, the end of his tenure with San Francisco, they was trying to turn him into this pocket passer, and that's not how he even got to the league. I hate when
Never been that player.
Man, I hate when teams do that, bro. I hate when teams have scouted you out, seen what you were good at when you were in college, bring you up to the
They
league.
ruined Robert Griffin with that.
Yes.
They ruined him with that.
See, and that's
They
why
ruined Vince Young with that.
they did. And that's why I respect the Ravens for allowing my boy to do his thing, just like Lamar Jackson, like he was in college.
And I think that's Kaepernick's best fit. He doesn't mirror anybody in the league other than Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, that's true.
And whoever worked with Lamar Jackson to get that accuracy together needs to get with Kaepernick.
Deshaun Watson.
I could see that. I can handle that. And I know I know H Town will love it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Nobody will take care of them better than Texas.
I mean, I can even go as much as say even Kansas City would work too. Andy Reid to take care.
Andy Reid to get him right. Andy Reid to get him right.
Yeah.
Remember, he's original Bird Gang.
Yeah. So man, there's definitely people that can benefit from having him on the roster. But let's transition though, man. Like I said, we got a stacked show. Let's talk about this bubble news, bro. So it's a bunch of things going on in the NBA in the bubble right now. First of all, the snitch line. We kind of talked a little bit about it last week, but they are really, really on it, man. And I want to get your opinion on what you think about people calling the bubble hotline. Do you think that it's a good look for people? Because it's anonymous. So do you think that people should be calling, or do you think it's snitching?
Well, it's snitching. Point blank. Period. It's snitching, but it's right up there with D'Angelo Russell. How is it any different?
I disagree, bro. This is my thing, right? You are a professional athlete.
True.
You are afforded a bunch of opportunities that other people don't have. And so my thing
True.
is that you had a choice of whether or not you wanted to come in the bubble. And coming into the bubble, there were certain rules that you knew that you were going to have to follow. So the thing is that if you're now like knowing how rapid the virus is spreading, seeing some of your top stars like Russell Westbrook and others that have contracted the virus, you can't put, man, listen, if somebody gets sick within that bubble, they got to shut the whole rest of the NBA down. That so the
They
thing is,
should.
I know, but that's what I'm saying though. So if that is the case, if I'm trying to win a championship, if I'm trying to bring some sort of hope to the world through basketball, but you're gonna jeopardize it because you can't follow some simple rules of just staying on the campus or whatever the case may be, whatever the violations are, hey, you are putting my health at risk because you can't follow the rules. You know what I'm saying? Like again,
Hey, some would say that Ahmad Kennedy is putting us at risk for not wearing a mask. Hey,
some would say that, but at the same time, guess what? I when it's like going to work, I have no way around going around that. You know what I'm saying? And just like you said, but the difference between me and the NBA is I didn't choose to go into a situation and sign a contract saying I'm going to abide by this rule. That's the difference. So yeah, people can say because I don't like wearing masks, or if I go to a grocery store, whatever the case may be, yeah, they can say that. I get it, and I understand that. But at the same time, I didn't sign a contract saying that that's what I was going to do. Whereas when you
oh,
go
so
into
your company never came with any paperwork after this mask thing? Said, hey, this is what we're gonna do.
no, but here's the thing: for my job, when they said, "Hey, you are going to be required to wear a mask when you leave your desk," guess what I'm doing? I'm wearing a mask when I leave my desk because that's my job. And so the NBA, there's no difference. They
Right.
but the thing is that here's the thing though. They knew those rules prior to going to the bubble. That was something my job established that after the fact. You know what I'm saying? But going into the bubble, you knew the rules and regulations before that. So
Right.
that's what I'm saying. But even outside of that, though, they've had a couple.
What is the penalty? Do you know what the penalty is?
I don't know what the penalty is. Because I've even heard some people say maybe it's some people like playing mind games. Like, say if I see, I don't know, Giannis and he ain't on my team, so I'm gonna just call the hotline on him. You know what I'm saying? Like I
It's a
heard
good
it's
idea.
mind games. Yeah, I heard it's some mind games. So I don't know what the deal is, but there have been a couple of people that actually left the bubble. So you had Zion that left for some family emergency,
Right.
and then you also had Montez Harrell to leave for a family emergency. And
Right.
so I'm assuming before them gentlemen can come back, they're gonna have to quarantine for 14 days or whatever, and also be retested before they can enter the bubble. Do you think that we're gonna see more people leaving the bubble?
I I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I think some people are gonna get tired of the bubble and leave. So, and if I mean, I think they're gonna come up with different reasons, all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't see a reason to complain. We got kids out here playing in AAU tournaments right now. So
Yeah, my son's playing tomorrow. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And again, that's another place that I have to wear a mask or whatever the case may be. My thing is that everybody knows my opinion on masks, but if I'm required to do so for certain places, guess what? I got to do it. You know what I'm saying? So and that's the thing. So as a professional that's getting paid that much money, nah, bro.
it should be easy. It should be easy. I'll
Yeah,
do whatever you ask of me if I go in that bubble for that money.
right. Because
One one
you
person I don't want to
go in
hear
there.
getting in trouble is Patty Mills. Patty Mills is guaranteeing the rest of all his checks are going to Black Lives Matter in
Mhm.
Australia. So I don't want to hear any problems out of Patty Mills.
Yeah. That's what's up. Um, alongside with that, the NBA has okayed for players to put slogans or different names or whatever the case on the back of their jerseys. And Jimmy Butler opted not to have anything on the back of his jersey, claiming that he wants to identify with a regular person, like somebody who doesn't have that opportunity to. He wants that's his way of representing the average Joe, like the regular person. What is your stance on that, man?
I mean, I dig that. I understand what he's saying. And I think that's just as good as putting the slogans on there.
Yeah,
You standing for everybody. You representing Mark Nurse, Ahmad Kennedy, Charles Venus,
yeah.
Dennis by doing what you're doing. I haven't heard it before, and I think it's a good idea.
It's definitely gonna catch some eyes, man. It's gonna definitely draw attention with it, which it has, because obviously, everybody's reporting on it. And it's one of those things, like he said, if I take this jersey off, guess what? I'm another black man, and so I want to identify with.
Or you could be a WNBA player. I don't see a whole bunch of them with last names on their back anymore.
Yeah, this is true. Now, in that same light, LeBron James is opting just to keep his name on the back of his jersey. What do you think about that?
I didn't see what the big fuss was about that, although he is the biggest sports figure in the world. So whatever he puts on there would be noticed. That's the only thing I think about that. Yeah, I don't know if he realizes that he could bring attention to somebody who isn't getting the attention they need. Like for instance, the homie Javier Ambler.
Yeah,
He could put Javier Ambler. Nobody's paying attention. We're not. The Amblers aren't getting justice. Colleen isn't getting justice.
yeah.
We're waiting on things to happen. He could put somebody up there who isn't getting the attention needed to move forward.
This is true. But what do you think about, like, if his standpoint is, I always bring a message even with my name on the back, as far as
I agree.
like that after every game the camera's gonna be in his face for something.
Right.
They always ask him about social injustice issues, or just
Anything going on in the
Yeah.
world, he's
anything pop culture wise. They always talk to him. So
I
I
agree with.
wonder if he uses that opportunity to say those things, like have a list of names of people, like, yo, we still need to be talking about this person, this situation. I
If
wonder
that's
he would
his
do that.
plan, I think it's better than the jersey.
Okay. Yeah,
If they let him do it.
Well, I mean,
There might be rules to what he could say once he gets in front of that camera to prevent him from having a Nick Cannon, Deshaun Jackson type of incident on accident, since they're going to
well,
be live.
that's true, but I mean, like they always say, they do a 7-second delay, so they would have the opportunity to do something. But at the same token, though, I think they would want that moment if LeBron did it, because think about how big that moment would be if LeBron were to say something like what Nick Cannon said, which we'll get into later, or even Deshaun Jackson. It would be all over. I mean, that would be sports gold.
Yes, and it'd be everywhere, every living room, every television.
That's right. Constant
From here around the globe.
TMZ, everybody will be reporting.
Carnival Cruise Lines, everybody.
Right. So something I did talk about a little bit earlier before you got on, I was saying that the NBA has decided for the NBA awards, they're basically going to only count the beginning of the season until March 11th, and then that's what they're going to use for the NBA awards. So with that being said, who do you think is the front runner to be the MVP?
I think it stays where it's at. LeBron, Greek Freak. I feel like I haven't watched basketball in so long. I'm forgetting about it.
Well, I mean, you said it right, man. That was the top runners, man. It was LeBron and Greek. Who you got taking it though?
If you stop it at March 11th, I would give it to LeBron.
Makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, he definitely was positioning LA to go on a long-term streak, and the Lakers was heating up for sure. Um,
And Greek was starting to miss a lot of games with those nagging injuries. So this little layoff he has right now should bring him back 100%
right.
and would probably give him the push that he needed to get past LeBron.
Yeah. Now, who do you think is the sleeper pick that could possibly win this whole thing with everything going on? Like thinking about, because I mean, you already know, like the Lakers got Rondo out right now. They don't have Avery Bradley. They brought in.
AK, save your breath for the next topic. I already have your answer.
Okay,
It'd be the Oklahoma City damn Thunder. That's who it would be.
and
We've been the sleeper pick ever since we showed everybody that we're not gonna be the cellar dweller of the Western Conference just because we lost players.
that's right. That's right. That's
Shout
a good
out to Chris Paul.
shout out to Chris Paul, man. And the fact, outside of Chris Paul, man, we still got a pretty young team. And
Right.
most people predict that anybody that's got a young roster has a really good chance of surprising some people now, because most of the older players, their bodies are conditioned to end a certain time of year. And this is kind of bleeding over into the next year, really. So
And surprisingly, we're finding out that not everybody's been working out during this whole time.
this is true. This is true. And which is unfortunate, because you would think that you would have to know, like, bro, there is a potential for the league to come back. And it's just like,
Exactly.
come on now. Now, what do you think about the Nets, though, right? So the Nets basically rebuilt their whole roster. They didn't pull my boy Jamal Crawford. They didn't, I mean,
Finally.
yeah.
I've been waiting on
Man,
Jamal Crawford to get back in the league. I
bro,
thought he should have been a Thunder.
I've been tweeting that. If you go look at my Twitter, that's all I've been doing is Jay Crawford to OKC. Man, I've been like, you wouldn't have had to pay him that much. He's a veteran who knows how to get things done, guaranteed points.
Are you tweeting it from your Ahmad Kennedy or from your Ace Kennedy?
Ace Kennedy 23.
Okay, well, they should be hearing it, because I heard that he was an OKC insider. So
Hey,
what was the problem?
bro, I don't know, man. And maybe they blocked me or something because they were sick of me saying it, because I've been saying it for the last 2 years, bro. Like, listen, I tweeted the Melo thing, it happened. I tweeted the PG thing, it happened. I couldn't get Jamal Crawford, so I guess maybe they was tired of me submitting stuff. So I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe you should have said it after you end the Star Spangled Banner every game.
That's probably it. I should have.
That's probably where we need to squeeze it in at.
Yeah. But I'm trying to.
He's the last piece.
He is the last piece, and unfortunately, I really think that we're going to look different next year, which is unfortunate. But I still want to capitalize off of this year, because then that could change. That could change some minds on what we do for next year.
Well, I hope CP3 stays on.
I do too, man.
Because that's the only way we're gonna get people to come.
But the only problem with that, though, which they're probably gonna be like, well, we got rid of Russ because of that big old contract, and CP3's contract is not a small one.
No, it is not.
And but I mean, again,
I don't think he would reconstruct you either.
No, absolutely not. He's too far along in the league, and he knows that if I get hurt or something happens, it's a wrap.
That's it.
Yeah. So
this could be his last big contract.
It could be. And the way he's playing, though, he's positioning himself for another team to want to invest in him, because I know New York is like gunning for him. And of course, Miami is always still in the run, and they would love to have him. And then you cannot count out the Lakers.
Right. That's where I think he'll end up, because he got to be a fool to go to New York. New York probably ruin your game, your career. They probably got the worst medical staff in the league.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, if Paul doesn't stay with the Thunder, I wouldn't mind seeing him end up with LeBron. Like, not again, I'm a Thunder fan through and through. Of course, I want us to win, and of course, I want him to stay. But if I got to see him go somewhere else, because here's my thing: Russell Westbrook is by far my favorite player in the league, but CP3 is by far my 1A, and the fact that I know him, that makes it even more personal for me, that I would love to see him get taken care of. So,
right.
Yeah, that's my boy.
And you need to start inviting me to some of those games, by the way.
I do got to get you up here to come to one, man. I keep forgetting it.
Yeah, man.
You all the way out there, but you still a Thunder fan, and I done finally got Charles on board because for me, I think what I realized was that when Jordan retired, I wasn't necessarily a Bulls fan. I was a Jordan fan.
Right.
And I just started attaching myself to just good players, especially when people weren't necessarily loyal to teams anymore, and everybody was just kind of hopping around. Then it was just like I just like players. But then when the Thunder burst on the scene in 2008, it was like, well, I'm here for the birth of this team because obviously, well, before we had the Thunder, we had OKC Hornets because they were here because of Katrina.
Right.
And my cousin is married to Willis Reed, so he was the president of basketball operations, and so that's how I was able to meet Chris Paul and all of the Hornet players. Because
Oh, so you met him on his first
yes,
turn.
yeah, I met him when little Chris was still in the oven, and you know what I'm saying. I remember it
Okay.
was me, him, Rasul Butler, rest in peace, Tony Parker, and who else with us? With let's see, Tony Parker, Chris Paul. It was okay. It was just us
David
three.
West.
No, it wasn't. I mean, I've met David West and Tyson Chandler, all of them there. But what I'm saying, they were playing the Spurs, and we were at the after party, and so we were all there. That's where we took a
Oh,
picture
okay.
and everything. But nah, my cousin Gail Reed, she's the one that every time I was there, she would bring me back and get to holler at everybody. So yeah, one of them things. Chris Paul's my boy, bro. But yeah, definitely
Yeah,
a
I
Thunder
definitely got to get out there then.
fan.
I'm a OKC by default. We
Yeah,
moved to OKC and I followed them. So
yeah. Well, that's what's up.
I've been a Supersonic fan since I don't know Ricky Pierce days.
Okay.
Way back then. As I got older, I went to Orlando, followed Penny Hardaway, then Tracy McGrady.
Hmm.
I was a Dominique fan, Chuck. That's the reason why I can't stand MJ. I'm the biggest anti MJ fan there is. I
Okay.
don't even own a pair of Jordans.
Oh, bro.
Never have.
I feel you.
I don't know how many people could say that.
Not too many. Not too many. I mean, like you said, there are definitely people that do not have Jordan at all on their list for anything. Like, just can't stand Jordan, and I respect it because I mean, I hate the Cowboys. Well, I can't say I hate the Cowboys for no reason. My dad was a Washington fan. He's from Washington, and so I was raised to not like the Cowboys. I didn't know why, but what my dad said went, and so
My
that's
man. My
so
man.
that's how it was. But man, let's shift it over to a little bit of entertainment news. There's a report that's come out that there was an incident involving Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion, and new reports have come out now that are alleging that Tory Lanez is the one that shot Meg Thee Stallion.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
have not I'm saying allegedly. I don't know for fact.
I don't know nothing about this. I know she was shot. I don't know anything else.
Okay, so apparently, according to TMZ, they caught footage. She was shot in the foot, and they were in an SUV, and it was her friend Tory Lanez, and I don't know who else was in the SUV, but apparently, the young lady, Meg Thee Stallion, and her friend was trying to leave the SUV, and something happened. The gun went off. And of course, the initial reports were that somebody was shooting at them and he was trying to be protective. But lo and behold, Meg Thee Stallion was shot. She still hasn't commented on it because I'm pretty sure it's some legal stuff going on. But you had her producer come out and say that Tory Lanez's days are numbered, which he then deleted that tweet. And then her bodyguard came out and said she will never leave again, and I not be there, especially when people don't want me there. So, there are definitely some other details that we don't know about that are constantly coming out, and we just kind of got to wait and see. But man, listen, if Tory Lanez shot Meg Thee Stallion, bro, his career is done.
It should be. It should be.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? His next court appearance is in October. So, like I said, nobody's speaking on the case right now. Um, I
And
don't
don't doesn't Lil J have something to do with Meg Thee Stallion?
um I'm pretty sure he probably does. I think so. But that's what I'm saying, man. It's like I said, it's gonna be a bad look either way it goes if this is what happens. Like I need them to say it was like the gun accidentally went off, like maybe it wasn't on
That's
safety,
that's what I'm expecting to hear.
something, because I mean the fact that it was in the foot, like you would think if he was like shooting at her that it would be, so I know that I don't know anybody who wants this to be the case that he actually shot at her. Like there's got to be some explanation, but obviously they're not going to be able to comment on that right now. But the video looks bad because you see all of them, because they had him exit the vehicle. He was laid face down, in the street, and then they asked Meg to get out, and you could just see her as she's stepping. She's looking at her foot, and you see like the blood prints, and so she's looking at her foot, and so she's laying down at a point, and then it just looks like I don't know if she passed out or what, but she just kind of like laid down, and so but yeah, she ended up having the cops drove her to the hospital. She went into emergency surgery in order to get those bullets removed. But yeah, so, like I said, and I think everybody too is waiting to see what Meg says because she hasn't really commented on it outside of the fact of saying, she's lucky to be alive, and she hasn't really said the details on what happened to that extent. So I'm sure she's waiting, probably legally or not allowed to speak on it right now. But what are your thoughts on that,
And
man?
there's probably a lot of people involved trying to see what they could do to clean this up as
Oh,
well.
absolutely.
Because I know if Tory Lanez has anything to do with it, I'm sure he's willing to throw some money around to get his name
Bro,
taken care of.
he would literally have to go back to Canada and be on watch. Cause yeah, it's too much surrounding Meg right now. Like
Yeah,
that, man, it is crazy.
it's a lot of people that arrived for Meg, and her just being from Houston, Texas, she automatically has the whole state.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong,
Automatic.
uh Tory Lanez is a talented artist. You know what I'm saying? I
Yes,
mean,
he is.
especially coming from the R&B side of things, he is definitely an incredible artist. Like he can tap into different genres. I've heard him step into the rap thing. Like to me, I seen somebody put a poll up like who they thought was better out of Chris Brown and Tory Lanez. And I said, well, if you're talking rapping, I would have to give it to Tory. Obviously, singing, I'd give it to Chris. And the only reason I say that because I know Chris is talented at rapping too, but Tory Lanez, I've seen him go
He's
up,
better than I thought he was.
bro. Once he went against Joyner Lanes, I mean
Lucas.
Joyner Lucas, it was just like okay, bro, cold because it was like his rebuttals were like quick, like
Yes.
I'm just
That's
like the
that's what
talent.
I was talking about, to where he shocked me with it. But I also think that uh if Tory Lanez has the support of Canada that I think he might have,
Yeah,
unless Drake stops it, I think he should be just fine with just Canada if he does.
he would have to, man. He would have to. He could not come back to the U.S. He would
I
basically have to become an
I think
international
Canada
artist.
can take care of themselves for him.
Yeah, I
He
think
should
so.
be good enough to live.
Right, right.
Cause
Yeah,
it won't hurt me to lose Tory Lanez, but hey,
but you got to have Meg back.
you right. Cause if I can't see that twerk, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I feel you, brother. I feel you on that one. Yeah, she stay steady, ready for. Oh, you can always catch my girl that was at the Lakers game.
Man, ain't nothing like Meg. I don't even want to talk about that thing you talking about.
Love to her too. Love to her too. Um, so staying in entertainment. We got a new versus that's popping off. Wednesday, dog versus dog.
How does that emoji go? I
What you
I'm
think about it,
disappointed,
man?
man. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed.
What did you want to see?
Snooping in anybody but X. No disrespect to DMX, but man, I'm not looking forward to seeing DMX. And I mean, I think this is gonna be a biased versus. I think most of the people that ride for DMX is either gonna be big time fans or East Coast people. I think depending on if Snoop could get the South and the West to even watch versus,
Yeah.
Snoop should have more people riding and watching. But
Well, Charles always says that Snoop is the most popular rapper in the world. Uh, Snoop is one of those like he was explaining in an earlier podcast that there are people that know Snoop that don't even know him as a rapper.
it's people that know Snoop that don't even know English.
This is true. This is true. And my thing is that I'm just hoping that we get a clear DMX. Like I don't
That's
want.
that's that's where I was headed. We
Yeah,
don't even know if DMX is gonna be sober to even do something like this. I
absolutely.
hear that he's okay, but who's to say that he won't pop a pill, hit a line, be drunk, get belligerent? Who knows?
Yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting because of the fact, like you said, we just don't know what we're gonna get. And I'm gonna be honest, even though DMX has his loyal followers and he's got the Rough Rider catalog, everything that he's done, you know, I still think it's a wash, bro. I think Snoop is.
I think so, but it depends on if the East Coast shows up to verses. If the East Coast shows up in numbers to verses because they miss DMX, it
But it's
he
also
could get okey doked by it.
yeah, but it's also two song selection as always. I'm always going with that
True.
song
And
selection.
I'm with you. Ever since you said it, I've been with you. And
Yeah,
then I also think that DMX catalog is so old that it might not hit the same if you play it today in this verses.
I mean, and then Snoop he can tap into all of his death row stuff. He can tap into all
Right.
his no limit stuff. He can tap into his stuff with Pharrell. Like,
Snoop's old stuff gets played today still in parties, clubs, TV, everywhere.
yeah, and like I said, the research department is on vacation. So I mean, but I don't even need the research department. I still think that DMX has he gonna take a L on this one, bro. And like I said, I am more
He
concerned.
should. He
Yeah,
should. If
he
you
should.
remember DMX beats used to sound a little distorted to me.
Yeah,
And like for instance, slip and falling can't get up. Uh Slip and falling can't get up sounds like an old screw tape when you used to have to turn it all the way to the max just to hear it. If you remember those days.
oh
So
yeah,
I'm not feeling DMX. I think Snoop is gonna bring too much uh liveliness and party to the event, and DMX might wash it out like Fabulous, but on a different slow vibe. I'd rather see Snoop and Ti if Ti can't get 50.
yeah. Which we gonna get into that in here in just a second. The only thing that I hope DMX also don't get on here and be real preachy, like the
I've
banter.
never seen him not do it.
That's what I'm saying. Like the banter in between the song play could this could be almost a 3 hour live if he isn't careful. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love DMX, but this is a platform. So it's one of those things that he will definitely utilize that platform for his advantage and speak his mind. Like, what if he get on there talking about all the new acts?
Man, I think Swiss needs to stop trying to revive his friends. That's what I think needs to happen. I
Yeah.
think this has everything to do with Swiss and his love for DMX, because that you got to find somebody else for DMX other than Snoop Dogg, if you ask me. Because Snoop Dogg, I'd rather see. I think it was you that said Snoop versus Busta Rhymes. Maybe I
I,
I'd be okay with that.
I'd be for that, even though I don't know how DMX's catalog would stand up towards it. But at the same time, you
Oh,
know,
I meant Snoop and Busta Rhymes. I meant Snoop and Busta Rhymes.
I know that's what you meant. But I'm just saying, like, I still think, like, I think that Buster Rhymes' personality would help carry him A
That's the
little.
only reason. That's the only reason I said it.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I had an interesting conversation with somebody at work. They were talking about because they really didn't get what the verses was, and we were having conversations about like Jay Z and Nas, and we were talking about Drake and Pusha because obviously we were talking about Friday how Pusha or how Drake was able to pull a record. But she asked me, she said, "Who would I want to see in a verses, dead or alive?" Who would I want to see? And my answer was Michael Jackson versus Prince.
Ooh, I think that would be your first versus tie right there.
It would be, man, it would be interesting because I think Prince would have performed all of his songs.
True.
Yeah. I think that,
And I can't see Mike playing a song without dancing.
man, it would have broke the internet, bro. Like I don't
It sure would have.
it would have been like it would have been in the millions.
It should have hit the millions if those two hit a versus.
Yeah, it would have been crazy. Now, if you're talking live artists, right? Live artists, even though I know they ain't got time for verses, I would love to see Jay-Z versus Beyonce.
I called it first. Remember, I've said it a few episodes ago.
Salute.
A few episodes ago when y'all asked who has the catalog to go against Jay-Z. And I said his wife. I think a husband wife versus would be nice.
That would be nice. It would be nice. That would be nice. And to be honest, I would love for B to I would love for B to perform her stuff, but I think they would probably be in the same room and just go track for track and
I believe so.
they
But
would
I
do
think
something different.
everybody should do it the way Jadakiss did. Do their verse on whatever song they play.
Yeah. Yeah,
But I think that would be a hit right there to
yeah,
do the
that would be
husband and
another
wife
one.
J versus B.
That would be 800,000 view. Might be close to 1 million. But
Depends on how many Beehive have, because every single person in the hive is gonna be there plus Charles.
yeah, he'll be in the front row. But you brought it up earlier, man. T.I. is still pleading his case, trying to get 50 to stand up to him, bro. And we see 50 responded with the commercial. And so another boss ended up hitting up T.I. and Fat Joe, and they sat down and had a conversation, man. Tell the people about what you saw.
Man, I seen T.I. getting a little bit too. He thought he wasn't getting too hyped about what Fat Joe was asking, but if he sat back and watched that video, he should see that he got a little bit rowdy and Fat Joe was just trying to talk. It was T.I.'s second worst second worst interview I ever seen.
What's the
Because I'm
first?
still upset about the Master P expeditiously interview because it could have went way better. We could have heard more, learned more, but he never let Master P say anything.
That's kind of how I went with this one too. He really didn't let Fat Joe really say a whole bunch.
Exactly. Every time Fat Joe tried to ask a question, he started getting hot about my catalog is dope. New York is biased. You guys get extra credit. You guys don't respect us. You don't do this. You don't do that. Fat Joe tried to explain how New York feels, but I don't think T.I. ever heard it. And I think I agree with what I think Fat Joe was gonna say.
Well, I agree to an extent. Like I do think that I know that's really big on Charles's list as far as the way the East Coast used to look at down South rappers or the South period. And so I understand that, but I also understand what Joe was saying too. Like I wasn't in that crowd. And even Jay-Z, he said he talked to Jay-Z.
Right.
So,
Hove. He spoke to Hove.
and that's crazy because when do you hear people just say, "Yo, I talked to Hove"? Like, you are making a lot of noise if Hove is calling you.
Yeah,
Like,
he seen the video and said that he called him up.
yeah. And so I think T.I. Like, here's the thing. I think all the antics that T.I. is doing outside of this video, because like you said, Fat Joe was there for a conversation. So I 100% get that. But I still think these are the antics that you have to pull to get 50 Cent's attention, because 50 isn't really focused on music right now. He's executive producing a bunch of shows. He has so much stuff coming out. you know, I just seen him get into a little scuffle with somebody,
Right.
which
Throw a chair. Yeah, I've
yeah.
seen that.
So it's just one of those things. Like, I understand his position as far as like 50 is the caliber artist that I need to go against. Like, you can't put Ti up against like the Migos or something like that. Like, it has to be like even some of the people that they were comparing him to, like they wanted. I mean, what do you think about him and Snowman?
I agree. I also commented on that because y'all have brought that up a couple
Yeah,
times.
yeah,
I agree with you guys that it looks better with Jeezy and Gucci, although you can't get I don't think you could get Jeezy and Gucci to do it, but
yeah.
I think it looks better with their genre of music. I agree with Tip that even though he created the trap music, he's a level ahead of them. And it's facts. It's facts. You can look at it. He's ahead of them. Plus, like Fat Joe said, or whoever that was that said that he did cross over. Matter of fact, it was a Joe Budden podcast.
Yeah.
He crossed over with some of his music and stepped out of trap music. So uh I
And-
I
and-
would like the vibe of T.I. and Jeezy because they're best friends. I
yeah,
would like the vibe on the verses, but
yeah.
I don't know,
Like I
man.
said, I like the fact of like he said, look, I'm the king of the South. He's the king of New York, and he still has a chip on his shoulder, even though he kind of said like, you know, it don't bother me about how he was treated because obviously that he used that to traject his career to what it is today.
hmm
So I
What
definitely
is the other Diamond 50 Cent album? Is it The Massacre?
um
He's the only rapper with two Diamond albums, and
it,
I'm sure Get Rich or Dying is one.
it
But is
probably
it The Massacre?
I'm not
Massacre?
sure. You know, the research department ain't here, but I would say yes. But at the same time, though, 50 can pull stuff from G Unit. He can pull stuff like, you know, he could possibly pull some stuff from the game because, you know, 50 used to writing stuff for other people. And
I agree, but I really think that people don't understand what T.I.'s catalog looks like.
this is true.
T.I.'s catalog is ridiculous and
It is.
smashes. 50 Cent has some songs, but T.I. has books, books of songs.
I totally agree. I definitely think that, you know, he is upper echelon artist. So you like
Right.
whatever you give him, like again, he
He's
would
on R&B, he's on pop, he's on gospel, he's on trap, he's on regular rap, he's on East Coast rap. What about the song he did with Royce 5'9", The Alchemist, and all of them? I
and
don't
he
even think anybody know he's on that,
and he got that three stacks verse on his album. So you know what I'm
right?
saying? And like, man, like
He's T.I.'s everywhere. He got multiple Eminem songs. I don't know if everybody knows about that.
yeah, it's crazy, man. He and yeah, like I said,
But I will admit that I only see East Coast fans saying that 50 will beat him. I don't see nobody down this way or out west saying that 50 has that hands down.
man, listen, everybody knows Ti will win this, man. Like you just
Joe
lying.
Budden was arguing with the two guys on his podcast because they're all 50 Cent.
Wait, Rory and Maul.
Yes, they
Oh,
both picked 50, and Joe Budden is trying to explain his catalog. And when 50 Joe Budden had them put up the Urban Legend track list and the King track list, they were like, "Oh, he does have some songs. I forgot about this. I forgot about that." So imagine if Ti plays the songs that people haven't heard on the radio.
oh yeah, absolutely, man. Like, and here's the thing: if Ti's calling 50 out, he has a game plan. He already has his track list ready to go.
AK, I think that's what's going on. I think Ti has already worked this out, and that's why he picked Ti. And I think 50 hasn't been thinking about this and needs time to make sure that this is the right move so that he doesn't come out here looking bad.
You're
Because
absolutely
Ti
right.
ain't doing nothing but what 50 does to everybody else.
Yeah, and that's what I did respect about it on when he was talking to Fat Joe is because he said like, look, this is
Right.
what 50 do to everybody else. So I'm all I'm doing is doing the exact same thing because like even with the commercial thing, right? Ti has already accepted why that commercial is what it is. So that's not a shot at him. Like that doesn't hit like people think it do. So when 50 did that, all that did was say, okay, I got your
Right.
attention.
It's just buying them time while he does what he does. But for some reason lately, people are forcing themselves to hate Ti because Ti has so much to say about everything
Right.
right now.
He's
So
being what
that's
50
how I
was,
feel
and he's
about it.
being what 50 was. He's being loud and boisterous about it.
Right, and people just don't like how Ti does it. So
Yeah,
everybody's finding a reason to hate Ti right now.
it's all good. But
What about Ti and Flip though, Ahmad?
we talked about this a little bit Friday. I don't know about them doing a versus. I and
Oh,
see
I'm
that
not. I'm not talking about the verses.
just
I'm
been
just talking
talking.
about the expeditiously that they're gonna have.
It depends on what tip we get, right? Like I hope he's coming there to have a conversation and not to try to double down on his point, whatever the
Right,
point was back in the day. Because like you
and I
said,
hope he's on water and not Remy.
yeah, because it's like already looking at, like you said, the conversation that he's had with Fat Joe and the conversation that he's had with Master P. Like you want these two to be able to express what they were feeling back then, but also show the growth as men in 2020, because both of them were so much younger back then and so much has changed. They're both not in the same positions they were back then. So I would love to see them have a conversation. I'm not even saying they got to dap it up and piece it up, but at least,
I hope Ti doesn't throw any jabs out there about the career or any of that stuff. And I could guarantee Lil Flip is gonna have some of the wrong people who ain't gonna want to hear none of that while they're in there.
yeah. But I ain't gonna lie, it'd be good. It'd be good content though.
It should be great content if Ti isn't drunk this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, man, let's get to our title uh our title message that we were talking about, this Nick Cannon thing. Uh so Nick Cannon, if for those of you who don't know, Nick Cannon has gotten into some trouble by making some comments about the Jewish community that did not go well, and because of that, Viacom has let him go, which they are the parent company of MTV. So they have currently released him as being the host of Wild and Out. And the thing is that while Nick was the creator of Wild and Out, he did sign over the rights. So technically, they own the brand of Wild and Out. Also, since then, Diddy has asked Nick Cannon to come over to Revolt TV, which is black owned, and they want him over. He is currently keeping his job with Fox because he is the host of The Masked Singer, so he will retain that position. And then, flip side, Nick Cannon has now doubled down, not so much on what he said, because he apologized for what he said. Um, he has been seeking counsel with rabbis and some other Jewish leaders and friends that he has. So he understands
Yeah.
what he said was wrong, and he's working through that end of the spectrum. But he wants Viacom to release the rights of Wild and Out. And he, of course, now there are some people that he's caught a lot of backlash. And so my question to you, right, with everything that's going on, because we know that we've seen a lot of people lose their jobs over things that they've said, things that they've posted. So do we still hold Nick in the same category, or should he have gotten a pass as long as he's willing to put in the work to learn? What do you think?
I think he's I think he's taking the hit because of all the people who have lost their jobs on their side of the spectrum. Because I think they know that they could afford to take the hit. Because Nick Cannon is a cash cow, whether they want to believe it or not.
Now,
I think
I don't mean to cut you off, but I do need to say this because I'm trying to give everybody their due diligence. The first initial reports were saying that Viacom wanted him to apologize, and Nick wasn't willing to apologize. So that's why they let him go. Since then, Nick has apologized. And according to him, he's saying that he reached out personally to the
Right.
head of Viacom
I
and
seen that.
it was met with
No response.
yes.
Hmm.
So that's where his anger is coming from. So, like I said, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to get everybody's due diligence in there.
Oh, you're good. I mean, I seen all of that. I've been feeling like he's just taking. I feel like he's taking the hit because he's a big black prominent man that is a big figure, and they could take one down in one hit, as opposed to the hundreds that they've lost jobs, uh, demoted, things like that. I think he's taking the hit for everybody.
Yeah, and then so now me and Charles kind of talked about this offline. What do you think about the cast members of Wild and Out? Because that is still a MTV property,
I
but
think you got to go with Nick.
okay,
I think you got to trust Nick, trust the man who put you on, the man who's been taking care of you, the man who's brought some of you back when you lost your jobs,
right.
and stuck his neck out there to get you back. I think you got to roll with Nick, man. Wherever Nick goes, roll with Nick. Whatever Nick's next move is, you know it's going to be big. You know it's going to make money.
So
That's what Nick does.
with that being said, do you think Nick can rebrand Wild and Out, or do you think he needs to fight for the brand since it's already established as
I
that?
think he should fight for the brand, man. It's his.
Yeah,
I think he should fight for it, keep it. I'm sure it's a judge somewhere that agree.
yeah.
I don't know. The thing is, how long will it take?
It might
And
take a while, but at the same time, uh, he has the bread to do it. And then, like
right,
Charles was saying, Diddy also has resources. So if
right,
because now I was listening to the Breakfast Club, and one of the things that the Breakfast Club said is that Revolt doesn't have the money to pay Nick Cannon, so they would have to do some type of back end of
joint venture.
joint venture, like a product share type deal. Um,
Mhm.
so I wonder, I just wonder how that would work because I mean it wouldn't take much. You know you're gonna make the money back just off of the brand alone,
Right,
and if you can get like I said some of those cast members to come over with him. But I'm like you, I'm like that brand is already like that's an internationally known product. That's
right.
you
That
just
wouldn't exist without Nick Cannon.
this is true. And he definitely was like, y'all are gonna mess up my vision by taking over that show. Cause I think they would end up having like rotating hosts, kind of like think about what they did when with Chappelle's show, the third season, where he wasn't really there and they just kind of just ran certain
Fell off. Fell
yeah,
off. If if we think we're really unified and really can come together and make some noise, let if they think they could keep it and make it become something, all of you guys leave and let them find the celebrities and the good comedians to keep it going and let them fall on their face with it.
yeah.
Cause Nick Cannon, I mean, he probably could. I mean, he can start another one, call it something else. But why would you want to? This is yours.
This is true. I mean, it's a tough situation because, like I said, what black people have to understand is that just because there's a Black Lives Matter movement going on, we don't get the opportunity just to say what we want to say because we don't want to put ourselves in the same position that other people are in and not
Right,
expect the same outcome. I'm not condemning Nick because I am one that doesn't believe in cancel culture. I think that number one, when people go back and they look through old tweets and stuff like that from over 10 years ago, people grow. Like the person that's offended has grown in 10 years. If not, then you're stuck in the same place. You see what I'm saying? But
hmm,
every person should have grown with some aspect due to time. And so the thing is that yes, Nick was wrong in everything that he said, and anybody that was offended by what he said, all for that. He in the backlash that the education piece is there, but I believe in educating people and allowing people to evolve and understand why they made a mistake, and and that's it. And unfortunately, because he's public, it is one of those things that. But so I get why everybody's in an uproar, but I am concerned that we always are too quick to jump out the window on certain things too.
Right, and I get why they chose to attack him once they found out that went on,
Yeah,
because our people been jumping on every little thing that everybody says. So,
that's right.
I
And
mean,
people,
I understand why, but like they always say, man, like our grannies, moms, dads told us, you got to choose your battles, man. And for Nick Cannon, I know this is your podcast, but you know that you work for this entity and that entity and that entity. So whatever you say can affect those other jobs.
and
And
unfortunately too, for Nick, because he's kind of been out there before, like when he
right,
with the other show that he had, America's Got Talent, and he had a comedy show that he said some things that they didn't agree with, and they wanted him to change it, and he
right,
stepped away from that, and obviously still prospered. And I think that's what his thought process probably is about this. But unfortunately, him losing Wild and Out is the biggest thing, though. Like I
right.
know that Nick makes money. Nick is very well off, but at the same token, that
I
is
think
his
he understand how big this is. If you remember him saying that I demand ownership of my billion-dollar
brand.
whatever he called it,
Yeah.
billion-dollar brand. So you realize how big this is if you chose that word.
Yeah, he knows. Like, and I think everybody knows. But that's one of
15
the things,
years running, man.
right, right. And has that show it's probably one of the longest running shows on
Right.
MTV. To be
And
honest,
then you're breaking superstar comedians right now, man. A
yeah.
lot of people came out of Wild 'N Out.
And that's the thing too. I think so. Thinking about Kevin Hart,
Like SNL.
yeah,
Wild 'N Out is like SNL now.
you're right. You're absolutely right. That is 100% fact. But I was looking at like Kevin Hart, right? I watched his doc on Netflix, and when he was going through the little thing where when obviously the LGBTQ community was coming after him for the comments he made over some jokes that he had, over 10 years ago. And the interesting thing on the documentary is, like, for me, I was like, nah, Kevin shouldn't apologize, because here's my thing, right? Number one, those were jokes that he had from a set that was over 10 years old, right?
Right.
That was one thing. Again, I tweets over 10 years ago, like, nah, to cancel somebody over something from the past, like, there's levels to everything, like everything. But anyway, point being that one of the people on the documentary was like, listen, you're not the only person that's affected here, because people know that I work for you. And so if you fail, there's a lot of people that don't get to eat. And so it's the same thing with, like, Nick, right? Like,
Right.
all of these people, like, not everybody that's on Wild and Out has something else outside of Wild and Out.
Right.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
got
Like, yes,
DJ Wreck, you got the comedians, you got the Wild 'N Out girls, you got everybody else that's in that studio.
yeah, and they are freaking out right now, because it's like, if Nick's gone, like, I'm supposed to be loyal to the dude that put me on, but at the same token, I
I
gotta
gotta
eat.
eat. Yep.
Yeah, man, that's a tough situation to be put in, man.
And how long do I have to wait on you to make the next move?
Right. Interesting stuff, bro. But man, listen, from the bottom of my heart, bro, I've got to thank you for taking this time to co-host the Slash Brother podcast with me, man. Man, you have no idea, because me and Charles are trying to keep this thing going, and
Already, man.
you have been a day one supporter of us, and so for that, man, I salute you. And
Still waiting on my t-shirt too.
you
Charles,
waiting on yours, I'm waiting
research
on mine.
department.
Right, merch department need to get on it. I ain't even got mine yet. But bro, what else you got going on, man?
Not much, man. I'm on my last day of quarantine, man. I somebody popped positive at work. I've been at home chilling, man. Me and
Oh
the
wow,
wife watching movies, drinking, having a blast, barbecuing,
yeah.
doing my thing, man.
Well, salute to you, brother. I know that you take the COVID thing seriously, and contrary to popular belief, even though people think that I'm crazy for my beliefs on certain things, I do take it seriously. I'm just going about my safety in a different way. But at
To
the
each
same
his
token,
own, man.
yeah, I know it's real, man. I know personal people that are going through it. And so, I definitely, but what people need to understand, the reason why I have my stance on certain things is I used to be my job for the military for 15 years was public health. So we dealt with stuff of this magnitude, and not to this degree, obviously, but we have dealt with infectious diseases and different things. That was my job for over 15 years. So I take my stance and precautions with that experience in mind. But at the
And
same
that's why I don't bother you much. I wait for Charles and Dennis to throw the bone out there,
oh yeah,
and
they
then
they
I pick it up and hit you with it.
listen, Charles. Listen, when I got off the podcast Friday, when it was me, Charles, and Chris, uh, they was both jumping on me too. But then Chris, that was my saving grace. Chris was like, but at the same time, he worked public health, so he know what he talking
Yeah,
about.
it
But
was. It was. I was looking for bad guy today too. Shout out to
yeah,
the bad guy, man.
yeah, I thought he was gonna step in, man. I thought he was gonna check in, but he must have got a little busy. But either way, man, I love the pod for what it was, and like I said, I greatly appreciate you taking your time to do this with me, brother. Salute to
Already,
you and
man.
your
Love you
family, man.
guys, man.
Stay safe for real. Love you too, man. And yo, we the Slash Brothers, man. We out.
Oh, and real quick,
Yeah.
I'd like to big up AK for that open mic performance, man.
Oh, brother,
Shout
appreciate
out to
you,
Mark
man.
Lane and the open mic live, man.
Yeah.
AK killed it. If none of y'all seen it, I will even step out there and say AK was the best performer
Wow.
of the whole thing.
I appreciate that, man.
Best sound, best performance, best outfit, best look, and the voice was on point. I enjoyed myself.
Thank you, brother. I really, really appreciate that, man. I'm always grateful for the opportunities that I'm presented. I don't care how big, how small, man. You just don't know, And my thing was like what I liked about Mark, man. He hit me up with the idea, like, yo, this is what I see. And the thing is that when people have ideas about something, even if you have the experience in doing something similar, you have to allow people to live out their vision. You can offer things to them, but because it was like some of the things that him and I shared off before we move forward with it, he experienced it on his own, and so he knows for himself. And so, but he
Right.
definitely sees big things with the open mic. And like you said, shout out to Mark, man. We've been talking every day since the open mic, man. And he
Me
really,
too. Me too.
yeah,
I'm glad I connected y'all and that everything worked out the way it has. Nobody knows this, but I actually pushed him into DJing in the first place,
brother,
and
you the glue for a
he's
lot of
been
stuff.
huge.
Yeah, he is. He is definitely big, man. He had the commercial out on USA.
USAA,
Yeah,
yeah.
and his daughter's an actress, right? I know she's been in a lot of
Yes,
podcasts.
yes. Shout out Kayla.
Yeah, big ups to Mark Lane, man. Yeah, big ups, big ups. But again, brother, is anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Man, justice for Javier, man. Justice for Javier Ambler, man.
That's right.
It's time. What are you waiting for? It's time. Go
Kim
get him.
going hard every day, and I respect her for it. She is tirelessly going hard for her brother, and for
Yes,
that,
Kim.
right. Yo,
Yes.
we the Slash Brothers, man. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend. We out. Yeah.